And it did. It just didn't work out the way we hoped that it would. Also, let's think about a ceasefire. Let's talk about a ceasefire. I have a piece called Ceasefire, and this is how it goes. An agreement to stop fighting a war for a specific period of time so that a permanent agreement can be made to end the war. A military order to cease firing. A suspension of active hostilities. Armistice. Ceasefire. Now, I've been thinking about this. What would it take to make this happen right now? A ceasefire to make the police stop seeing us as a threat. A ceasefire to the gang shootings in the big city. Where do they get all that ammo from anyway? A ceasefire from all the bad politics. A ceasefire from that time when I got so damn mad all I could see was blood and vengeance. Ceasefire. Calm down. Let cooler heads prevail. I need a ceasefire. I need some time out away from all this bullshit that's going on. So stop blowing political smoke up my ass. I mean, do you really think that this still works? Why? Why, damn it? What do I have to do to prove to you that I'm a human being? Not a damn thing. Get over it. I'm here and I ain't going nowhere. Ceasefire. All right, so this next piece is called Great America. So, an idiot presidential candidate wants to make America great again. Which great America does he think will come back with the rhetoric that's been spilled? Now, let's just separate ourselves from those who believe his bullshit, because all they want is to have America to be filled with racism, hatred, fear, and loathing for one another all over again. The great America that strung up our grandparents and uncles and aunts and sisters and brothers. The great America that denied us entrance into stores and made us sit on the back of the bus. The great America that watched us as our churches burned and dogs attacked us and fire hoses were sprayed on civilians while they protested for equality. The great America that became the killing fields in Mississippi. The great America that kept us down and poor and neglected by societal standards. That great America that only expected and accepted the predominance of white people. Let's make America great again. Not that great America that kept my parents' parents and their parents from getting a college education, a home loan, or a decent job. Not that great America that required them to kneel on the floors of white-owned homes where they had to scrub the floors of white people. That great America where they could clean their toilets but not use them. That great America where we lived separate from them at night and during the day we raised their children and went home to beans and rice for dinner every night for literally pennies, always eating the scraps from their tables. Let's make America great again. You know, the one that oppressed and brutalized women. The great America that told women we weren't equal to men and denigrated us on the cover of Playboy magazine and used us as a tool to make other rich men richer in other countries happy by peddling our flesh across the ocean, keeping slavery alive, well, and thriving. That's the great America I remember. That's the great America I still see, because that's truly great America. That was kind of harsh, I know, but sometimes that's how we feel, isn't it? We have these fantastic arguments, summations, and conversations in our head, and we win them. We wax eloquent in our head, and then we open our mouth. But that's the way it is. So this last piece is called The Pledge. I won't preamble what I write because I won't apologize for being honest with myself. I won't make excuses for my thoughts because it's never my intention to hurt anyone, but to open them up to their consciousness, a better expression of themselves. I won't back down and cower before an obvious bully simply because they figured out a clever way to puff themselves up by putting me down. I will stand up for myself in the face of adversity. I will show that I have worth in this world. I will give myself a pat on the back and an atta girl and a good for you, especially when I think I'm the only one who cares. I will stand accountable for my actions, and if they have consequences that I think are too hard for me to bear, I will not drag down innocent blood to save myself, nor will I include others who are not innocent to justify myself. I will not denigrate them just so I won't have to suffer my shame alone. No more excuses. No more reasons for quitting. I will allow myself to accept that I will fail in life. I will celebrate my successes. I will plan for my future. I will help others along the way to the best of my ability without letting myself down. Because I matter too. And in this day and age, people, let's just face it, all lives do matter. Black lives matter, yellow lives matter, red lives matter, brown lives matter. Yes, blue lives matter. All lives matter. It's just that some lives have been treated as if they haven't mattered. And we can't keep constantly getting into arguments about whose life matters the most, when we should all say all our lives matter just as much as the next person. I am really thankful that I was raised in a family where we understood that my mother, she did not teach racism or hatred. She didn't take tomfoolery either. But she did make us understand that what we said and what we did in this world mattered. And if it didn't matter to anybody else, it should matter to us, what we feel and think about ourselves. I have this one more last thing I want to write. I just want everybody to understand that,
Anger issues.
I have them. Yes, I do. I can't remember when I didn't. Sometimes when you least expect it, an infinitesimal thought from a time you haven't given any thought to in a long time takes advantage of a quiet time. It slips in under the radar in a moment of introspection, blasting through like a tidal wave during a day at the park near the shore while you're enjoying a glass of Chardonnay with your significant other, who just happens to be apologizing again. And it's there. And you don't really have a full memory of why anger is an issue. It just is. But anger is in the details. The first time I rolled my eyes in righteous indignation, my youth clouded my ability to see anything except what I wanted. My eyes rolled clean through my teens, and as time passed, as the years do, my hands made gestures clearly not measured in the least explainable. But whenever the feeling of anger arose, it became clear where the fuse started and ended. With me, externally. Hands raised in the air, fists balled into knots, my fingers splayed, pointing accusations at the offending party. And just when I thought there was going to be a time to cool down, my head couldn't stop throbbing because I really didn't realize that my eyes became shot with blood and my face was contorting to a point that I could see harsh lines along my cheekbones. But the worst part was feeling your heart race like a herd of stampeding rhino or elephants, your jaw aching because before you even said a word, you were grinding and gritting your teeth and your molars so hard, it was what caused the headache in the first place. And you were gripping something balled in your hand and found out it was just tissue. Time is not your friend in times like these. You know it's best to keep your mouth shut. Stay out of it. And sometimes, no matter how hard you try, you just can't. Hey people, this is Joe Bright, your host of Poetry Song. Poetry is something that drives us through every day. Well, mine anyway. And I constantly battle with the words in my mind and in my soul. Poetry Song takes everyday topics and put them in verse just for you. The battle for dominance is on. Join me every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. until 8:15 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'll be changing the world with poetry, one line at a time, right here on Poetry Song. So that happened. And so now you know. Joe's Poetry has Poetry Song Radio right here on Spreaker.com. You can look and listen to me every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Okay? I'm going to give you one last one. You know, I come from a family of long goodbyes. We don't know how to say goodbye. So I'm not going to probably ever say goodbye, but I am going to ask you to listen to this, and then I'm going to take you out, okay? What right feels like. So, this is what right feels like. It doesn't feel like what you thought it would have. I don't have more friends than before. People aren't hitting me up for advice everywhere I go. I haven't been invited to all the best functions. In fact, it's just the opposite. I thought I'd be feeling empowered and full of strength and determination. You know, the will to soldier on, take a stand. Just the opposite. Every day I have to find the strength to get up and face the day. Question my motives behind everything. Stand up for truth, dignity, justice, oppression. Just doing the right thing. I check myself first, not be a hypocrite. Remember that. It's Black History Month. When you hear me again, and I hope you join me tomorrow evening at 7:30 p.m. right here on Poetry Song. I'm your host, Joe Bright. We're going to go through some things. We're going to read some more poetry. And I'm going to invite you to call in. If you're a poet, call in. And let's see if we can get you to say some of your best poetry on Poetry Song. I like to think that, you know, this will become a platform for poets, authors of all kinds, to join me. And let's let the world know that poetry is just not something that spouts out anger all the time. It can be social, it can be activism, but it can be a whole lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining me. I am Joe Bright. This is Poetry Song on Spreaker.com through iHeartRadio one day. And enjoy the journey with me. Come on. I'm changing the world, people. One line at a time.